Slack and he Major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, once again to the My Type of Hype podcast with me, your boy, as always, in the building, Slack, as you know, and my two co-hosts extraordinaires are also up in the building. What's happening, fellas?
Yes, man. All good. We're here, man. My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip-hop, but not just the hype. You know, that's not just a tagline, man. That's what we are, man. We love the culture. We love hip-hop, and we're here to celebrate it, man. Not just talk about the hype and the gossip and the rumors and everything that's going on now. We're here to talk about the core goodness of the culture, man. But blessed, all good. Here. And Luke Beige, what you saying, bro? You good?
Still. What's up? It's Potter, aka Reggie McWorthy. Yeah, as my codees have said, we're here to drop the science, drop the knowledge, like Fredro Starr on his best day. So yeah, let's get it cracking.
Yes. Me and Slack repping the Woo today. What you got there, Potter? Is that iced tea?
Death Row.
Death Row.
It's Crooks and Castles Death Row. So
Yeah,
it's like for when Snoop bought it. So
Yeah.
you know,
all right.
black businesses.
Yeah, man.
I promise as well,
Real
we
talk.
didn't plan this at all. Like, it's never planned.
Not
If
at all.
wearing the same shit as me, then, or vice versa, then yeah, it's never been spoken about.
Yeah.
before. We do not.
Do you remember that time when we loved Donna? We was both wearing ball setup. I must have had Scotty
exactly.
for 2 years. Yeah, both of us. It's like, right, we're planned.
We can do that.
Yeah, it's
We
bad.
It could happen, man.
We both
It could
had
happen.
the red and black hat and the Bulls. I had the Bulls jersey. I think you had the tee. Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Mad. But yeah, man, there you go. We're in sync.
So
But
what's
yeah,
happening
man.
today, bro?
So yeah, we're gonna look at best and worst album titles today, man. Like I said, you know, we like to talk about hip hop and chop it up and have a laugh, and it's something that I don't really. I've seen a lot of discussions around album artwork, like best and worst album artwork. I've even been involved in a few of those, but yeah, not titles, artwork, yeah. But we thought it'd be funny to look at some best and worst album titles today, man. So yeah, man, throw some out and see how we go. See how we go on, man. Who wants to kick us off?
Why don't you
With
kick
a
us off?
best. With a best.
You rarely kick us off, bro. So why don't you go first?
We may. Okay, cool. Let me look at my list. Okay, you know what? Okay, it's a bit of a cheat code because it's multiple albums, and so I'm gonna start off with cheating. But I'm just gonna say EPMD. And the reason I'm gonna say EPMD is because, like I said, I know it's cheating. It's not a set album, but just the way they use the name, the word business in all of their albums, I think it's so sick. You know what I mean? I mean, the first time, I don't know if they planned it. You know, I don't know if it was like a RZA thing and they had the whole 5-year scope and the plan. Who knows? I haven't accounted none of that in an interview or nothing. But to come out with Strictly Business, and then I don't know if it's someone's bright idea or they had it planned, and then to do Unfinished Business, then just the business level personal. No, I skipped one. What was before business level personal? Business as usual. But the sickest part of it, though, the sickest part is the whole when they obviously broke up and then came back in business. I just think all of that works. You know what I mean?
Well.
Yeah,
same. And then when they stopped to have Out of Business, I just think it's a sick idea, man. And I just think that, I mean, I know
with the business is business.
Say that again.
PMD carried it on. Business is
I was
business.
just about to say, I know PMD
Shady
carried it on as well.
Yeah.
Shady business is business. Yeah, so I just think it's a sick idea, man. I just love the way, like I said, I know it's cheating a bit. It's just not one album title. But I just love the concept, the way they worked business into all of their titles. And you know, it's probably, I'm guessing it's probably a PMD idea because
I think
when Eric Sermon left, you know what I mean? He didn't carry on with that at all. Do you know what I mean? It was what was his first album? Not Double or Nothing. What's wrong with me today, man?
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. And then he didn't mess with the title Business again. But obviously, as we just said, BMD came straight out the gate with Business is Business, Shady Business, and so on and so forth. But or vice versa, sorry. But yeah, that's my contribution, man. To kick us off, the business concepts in EPMD's albums.
Yeah, I like that one too, man. I think
start.
that was a great idea for them to do that.
Yeah,
like
man.
you said, I don't know if it was planned, but if it was, then it definitely came from PMD, 100%.
Yeah. I think so, man. But yeah, I love that. Who's going next?
What you got?
I'm going to go a fairly obvious one. I feel this is probably going to come up at some point, but Little Brother debut album, The Listening. Like, I love that that's what they called their debut album, because the whole concept of it is about, like, obviously, you know, it's been well discussed. Like, a lot of us were in, I guess, the wilderness with hip hop at that time before that dropped, and there's a lot of, like, it wasn't the hip hop that we know and love. There wasn't a lot of lyricism. There was just hot beats and samples, and The Listening come out, and the whole point of the album is you need to properly listen to it. You need to really understand where they're coming from, what their angle is, what they're rapping about. It was a completely different vibe to stuff I'd heard before. Like, it was adult rap, I guess, is probably the way to best describe it for me.
Adult contemporary.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, because they're talking about shit that you relate to, like bills or having arguments with your mum because they don't like your new girlfriend and they preferred your old girlfriend, like things like that. And it's relatable. And I just feel like it was, I don't know whose idea it was to call it that. I'm gonna go probably Fonte, but it just summed it up. You just need to sit and listen to that album from start to finish and really understand what hip hop is about. And for me, that album, it changed. I won't say it changed my life, but it definitely changed my view on the culture, because I was probably not ready to give it up, but like, I was moving away from listening to a lot of what you would call, I guess, mainstream hip hop, because it was just bullshit at the time. And I just thought that is one of the most appropriately named albums that I've ever picked up.
Yeah. Real talk, man. Definitely.
Fair. All right, my first one has got to be Onyx debut album.
Yes. Yes.
The fuck up. I think that is definitely one of the most appropriately named albums in hip hop.
Yeah.
Because their whole vibe was back the fuck up. And the fact that it was allowed as well, and you had a big advisory sticker on there. Because at them times they weren't really allowing profanity like to be in your face like that. So the fact that it was there in big letters on the cover, I didn't think that it would fly. But like, if you're a kid, you tell your parents, "I want an album," and they're like, "What is it?" They're like, "Back the fuck up." They're gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah, that's true. That's
so considering taking all of that into account, and the fact that it was such a successful album as well, kind of makes you think. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot of people that wouldn't have stopped it because of the title, because of the content. There was people that weren't selling hip hop albums because of the parental advisory, and there was that whole thing around. I think it was 91, 92, where Luke went to court for the whole. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just think that was a perfect album title to come out the gate with, and the fact that they had songs like Shifty and Slam and all of those kind of tracks on there. Throw your guns.
Oh man,
anarchist hip hop, anti-establishment. Absolutely back the fuck up. I think it.
I got a 3-day detention because of that album.
What?
There you go.
Well, I was listening to it on my Walkman, like on tape. So we're going back, and I got called into my head of years office for something, and he asked me what I was listening to, and I pulled out the album.
Wow.
He was the head of RE, like he was not pleased.
The worst teacher.
Yeah, so you've been walking around school with that. Yeah.
Wow. That title was extreme, man. But like you said, it's fitting, isn't it? It's fitting for them, so it's funny. But yeah, that's proper in your face, man. Say that's like what it says on the tin, isn't it?
That's it. I can't complain because you know what you get.
As far as debut albums go, that was phenomenal when that came out. Like it was
there was nothing else that sounded like it. And the funny thing was, there were other people trying to sound like them. Run DMC, they tried to sound like them. Youngsters tried to sound like them. Like there was a load of people.
and look like them as well.
Yeah, started doing the bald heads and all that shit. Like, I don't think Onyx I don't think they get the props that they they garnered, especially for those first 3 albums, man. I think
what a run that was as well.
Yeah, I think that was a major, considering like they never had any mainstream songs. Like they weren't making songs for. That's why it pisses me off nowadays when they're like, "You need a song for the ladies. You need a song for the
yeah."
But you had
Slam was hard. Yeah,
and exactly.
Slam, you know, I may be completely wrong here, man, but Slam weren't the first song, was it? I'm sure.
I think For Your Guns.
Throw Your Guns. Yeah.
I think Slam came after that.
But they were doing bits.
So look at that.
They were definitely doing bits.
So look at that. That ain't no radio-friendly song or title or video.
So,
you know what I mean?
We're talking about authenticity and all that kind of stuff, and people are saying, you know, you have to change for your market. I'm like, nah, the market needs to change for you. Like, if you're just making stuff that's good, the market will come to you. Like, look at
find the people.
DMX making for the ladies and all this kind of bullshit, but he had the biggest album in '98. So, I like.
You're right, but like you said before, though, that it's the whole shouting thing, isn't it? Like, you think about an Onyx, you think about an MOP. People just don't really lyrically rate them like that. But if you listen to enough of their music, like I think Shut 'Em Down for me is an incredible album, man. I know a lot of people say they might prefer the second one, but for me, I think Shut 'Em Down is being Sticky, one of the most underrated MCs of all time. Brilliant at storytelling. His debut album was one of the best concept albums in hip hop. Most of the time when he had a verse, it was a standout verse. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? But they just kind of get overlooked. You're right. So Onyx definitely need their flowers, man. Rest in peace to Big DS as well. Yeah, man. They need their flowers, man. Yeah.
Like, shout out to their live show as well. If you ever seen Onyx live, then you know that's.
I haven't. No, I actually haven't.
Amazing. Their live show was incredible, man. Like, just one of the best I've ever seen. Easily.
Yeah, I haven't, man. I was meant to. I think 2020 they were coming over, and then obviously COVID just shut everything down. But I still haven't.
There was them. I think Laws of the Underground.
That's right. EPMD was it? One more as well. Yeah, it was a big one. It was called Rap or something. I can't remember. But yeah, I haven't. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about their shows, man.
Yeah, really
yeah, good shout. Okay, so we'll flip it and we'll go to a worst one now. Yeah, we'll just rotate.
I'm still here for this one.
yeah. Well, I was going to say, what did I say? I haven't even said it yet.
You're speaking about Fat Joe. That's what's done.
No, he's telepathic as well. But okay, is it my turn? Yeah, I'll kick us off. Probably expected, but I'm going to go with Raekwon. As much as I love Raekwon, I'm going to go with Immobilarity. Reason being, and let's say it as well, disclaimer, we're not talking about the albums in this. We're strictly talking about the names of the albums. Even though it weren't a good album, it's a crap title, man. The word don't even exist. Like, come on, man. Like, I remember Googling it, like, after the time, obviously. I remember Googling it thinking, what exactly does Immobilarity mean? And we know Raekwon, Ghost, them, man, they just got their own slang, innit? So you just take it. Like, but for years, I'm like, yeah, Immobilarity. But there was one day I was sitting down thinking, 1 minute, what does immobilarity even mean? Like, yeah, okay, it's not a word which is bad enough, but you know, what are you saying? Like, you're immobilizing your like, you can't walk, are you crippled? I just don't get like what you're I just don't get it, man. It's just, and because the album weren't good, it just made it worse as well. So it's just like, yeah, it's just a crap title.
Never thought about that until you said it. It never crossed my mind.
I mean, like, for years, I didn't think about it. I just Immobilarity. But then I'm thinking, 1 minute, Immobilarity. It don't even make sense. Like, what does that mean? Like, unless I'm just dumb, I don't know. But I don't know what the word means. And then ones where you Google it, Google don't offer no suggestions either. I see it like, listen.
Literally, I'll ask Raekwon to his face.
Either that, or you got to use AI, man, to see what AI comes up with.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, it's not. I'm all for making up, like, you know what I mean, creating things like that. I think it's a crap title for a weak album as well. But yeah, Immobility to kick us off. Peace of Raekwon, but yeah, not feeling that, man. Well, what you got, bro?
All right, so this is probably quite unsurprising that this is a terrible album title, but Little C's The Wonderful World of Caesar Leo. Like, if ever there was a false advertising album title, that's it. There is nothing wonderful about anything to do with Little C's at all.
That's funny.
That album is...
It was kind of misleading, that title.
Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. Like, I can't even think of like one good tune on it. Had the audacity to not even have any hidden Biggie verses that we'd not heard like at all. It was just shit. And none of us were really, I think none of us were really expecting like good things from it. But I mean, it was probably coming. What was it? A couple of years after Big died, year after Big died.
I think it was when it weren't 97. It was when it like 99. Big died 97.
It was around turn
like 99, isn't it?
Yeah,
And it's just like, you was never even good. Like, even in Junior Mafia, when you had him right,
exactly.
It was never good. Like, whoever thought it was a good idea to let this dude release an album, like, where are the people around you that are going, this is absolutely terrible? Like, it's
I can definitely see why they let him release an album.
Yeah, definitely. Because like, Big bigged him up so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This was big, man. Everyone's going to listen to it because they want to know what he's got to say.
Yeah, nothing as it turns out. So
yeah, I get that for real.
I think I've listened to that once.
Yeah,
like literally once.
I don't really remember it because I think there was one song on there that I liked, and I can't remember what it was called, but there was just one song that I thought was good. The rest of it I could live without. It was on the level.
I literally don't remember it.
Harlem World. Remember that Harlem World album with Mace and his Blinky Blink and all them.
Oh yeah. It
was on the level. It was on the level of that kind of album. Like, I never liked Mace anyway, so his people's I'm definitely interested in.
You're not going to check for it.
And I think it was the same with C's. It was like Biggie's gone now, apart from Kim, and apart from maybe Klepto. I can't name anyone.
Thank you, bro. I was going to pull you up there, man. I was going to say, why don't people ever mention Klep? Klep was cold. Klep was on the track. Kleptomaniac was cold, bro. Like the track, is it Oh My Lord? Him and Biggie? Listen, I don't care, man. He went toe to toe with Biggie.
We
don't know. Biggie wrote that shit, innit? We don't know if he wrote it, Biggie wrote it. We don't know. We don't know how good he was.
You know what, though? I ain't going to lie. I feel I might be completely wrong, but I mean, maybe this is another topic for another episode, but I don't hate that album a lot as much as a lot of people do.
I thought that album was decent, to be honest.
Conspiracy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, conspiracy.
Yeah.
I think Klep wrote that because if you actually listen to how Klep is rapping on that, it's not like Biggie. It don't feel like Biggie wrote
not
that.
like Biggie. I'm talking about what he's saying because it's quite widely known Biggie wrote a lot of that album and he was hiding
100%.
100%. Puffy, you know what I mean? So I think 100%. Like Players Anthem, that Biggie definitely wrote Players Anthem 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Even when C's comes in, like the way he's rapping, I'm like, yeah, Biggie definitely wrote that shit.
Yeah.
There's other songs on there as well, like Get Money. I think Biggie wrote a lot of that.
Yeah.
To Get You Home.
I think Cameron wrote Crush on You, innit? Cameron Crush on You.
Wrote a lot of that shit. So
I know he didn't write a lot, but
Crush on You's on Kim's album, though, isn't it? It's not on Junior Mafia.
Crush and News. Oh yeah, sorry. What am I talking about? Yeah, of course. Sorry.
However,
I'm crossing over. Sorry.
I still think Big wrote. I don't know. Was it Big? Someone wrote that. Because on the album, Kim's not on it, right? Or was it the video she wasn't on? No, it was the
on the album, it's only C's, and then on the video,
she's got a verse on there.
Kim. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like Klep wrote his stuff. I might be completely wrong, but he's cold, man. Like if he did, he's cold. Like that track with him and Biggie, like he done his thing.
Yeah, there was White Chalk, and there was a few tunes on there that I
Yeah.
liked.
Mm.
That album was
There's
decent.
a
That
couple
was a
of
solid
ones on there.
3.5 mic, dope album. I thought
Yeah,
it was good.
I'd agree. I'd say that. I definitely gave it a lot of
I'm
attention. I ain't
almost
gonna
certain
lie.
that is actually what they got awarded in the source when that came with 3.5 mics.
I think it's
Was
probably
it?
about that 3.5. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that C's album, he's a cool guy though. I met him in Tottenham years.
You met
Like
Lil Cease?
At Temple.
Temple, bro. That's exactly it. Him and Biggie were there, you know. Him and Biggie.
Yeah.
C's is cool, safe. And I didn't get to speak to Biggie though. He was just all the girls were surrounding him, and I was like, I'm gonna try and come back later. I never really got back round to him. Met C's, didn't get to speak to Big, and then I think he died the next summer. I was like, oh, man, like, you know what I mean?
Yes,
But kind of thing.
right
But,
there, man.
yeah, man. But literally, I was in Temple. Like literally, I'm sitting here. He was literally there, Biggie.
Was
Just
that
surrounded.
95?
Bro. Say that again.
It would have been
95.
Yeah, it was 95. 95.
I think like this
Yeah.
is weird. 6 degrees of separation. I think my daughter's mum was at that.
That's yeah.
That
It would make sense because it was just them 2 there. I think it was the summer. It was either 95 or 96 because
I remember exactly.
I think it was 95 or 96
because it was a flex event, right? And I think Westwood had something to do with.
West was there, yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
And then the year after is when I met Jay-Z. I met Jay-Z in Temple as well. I actually had a conversation with him because everyone was there. Like, everyone was there. Huh?
All right, name
Everyone went Temple, man.
Yeah.
Everyone was in Temple.
Trust me, Westwood, man, he used to bring a lot of the heads over. But yeah, sorry, I'm digressing. But yeah, Potter's point. The reason I mentioned that is going to say Cease is actually cool. And even if you look at his Instagrams and all that now, like he seems like a decent guy. But yeah, that album was weak. I literally listened to it once and never ever went back.
Twice, and yeah, me too. I never went back to it, man, for real.
Never went back to it. Trust me. Slap, what you got for worse?
All right, man. I'm gonna go for Nas, and I'm gonna say the N album that he pussied out and decided to call Untitled.
Yep, I had that down.
So you've got the whole concept of this album, and I thought it was very risky for him to do that. I'm not sure what point in his life he was at for him to be going along the thought process. I think that album's good. I listened to it recently, and I think that is I think it's
not bad.
I think it was overlooked a lot because of the title and because of everything that surrounded it, rather than the album itself. So I think there's some songs on the album that I really like, and just the title is like, bro, if this was your concept, you should have followed through. Like, I don't know what made him change it to Untitled, or some people call it the End album, some people call it Untitled, some people call it the full title, what it should be. And before that, he brought out a mixtape called the N-Word mixtape, or the N-Word tape. So yeah, it was just a bit confusing. Like, if you search for it now, do you search for Untitled? Do you search for N? Like, what does it come up as on a playlist? You know what I mean? And I don't know why. Probably in the label they were like, yeah, we're not comfortable with this. But there was a whole rollout. Him and Khalees, I remember doing all kinds of.
Yeah, he had the jacket in there, innit?
They had the jackets. They had the fronts. There was all shit going on at that point in time. So that's why I say I don't know where he was mentally or whatever at that point in time, because it was.
Wasn't there artwork for that where it was like his back was like smirched, but in the shape of
the N.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, it's like symbolic of Wicked, isn't it? Yeah, and it's the end. I think that is how the album is now. If you look at it, I'm sure that's what it's still is. Yeah,
it is.
I don't own a physical copy. I can't remember, but yeah, I'm sure it's still. Sure, that is what it is on the back. Yeah.
So I don't know what happened, like with the label, if they weren't comfortable with it, or I don't know what happened. To be honest with you, but I think it was just badly executed, just not good as an album title.
Yeah, no, I had that bad as well. Actually, that's a good pick. But yeah, definitely. Weird.
No one.
And it's true. If you're doing something,
talks about the album, like it's almost like it doesn't exist. Like people think about Stillmatic all day, Illmatic all day. It was written all day. No one ever mentions the Untitled album, like ever. It's weird, and
That's
it's
actually so true.
along his
Every other
along
Nas album gets some kind of mention in some, even if it's to say it's not on par. Yeah, like even what's it called? Nostradamus. Yeah, gets a lot of mention. Yeah.
Which is a horrible album on many fronts. A horrible album.
Yeah,
And,
he should have trimmed that down because there's some tracks on there. Ain't gonna lie, there's about 5 or 6 tracks on there.
Decent ones, they're not Nas level. You know what I mean? Not in my opinion. Anyway.
No.
So yeah, I don't know where he was going with that, but just didn't hit.
yeah, true. Okay, so back to some best. Yeah, we're gonna go with. Okay, I'm gonna go with a double whammy. Outcast again for 80 Aliens and Aquemini. The reason I said double whammy is because I couldn't choose between the two. I think they're both sick titles, man. 80 Aliens is just clever. I ain't gonna lie. For years, I was calling it Aliens. I thought it was cool. Yeah, I was calling it that for years. I was like, even though they say it in the track, like on the album, they say it. But I don't know. It just didn't stick with me, and I kept calling it Aliens. And then I clicked one day. It's like 80 Aliens. Sick title, and then just the whole concept in it. It just marries in with the artwork and everything. And I've said it before. Anyone listening to this that's into Southern hip hop or on the South, they may think, that's not good. But for me, I liked it because I've said it before. They were the ones for me that opened the door to Southern hip hop. I know we've had this discussion about other Southern MCs that are rated, but Outkast are the ones for me. I will always say they're the ones for me that made me really probably stand up and listen to the South, like Andre said at the Source Awards. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely. So it was almost like that whole 80 Aliens thing. I just thought it was a sick title, sick concept. Obviously, the album's a classic and it's an incredible album. But on the same side, Aquemini, sick title, man. Aquarius and Gemini, the combination of their star signs. I just thought it was good, man. Like what I said about immobilarity, Aquemini is a made-up word. Immobilarity is a made-up word. So I'm not saying something always needs to mean something. It may have some meaning to you, but at least let the meaning make sense and be good. I mean, to be like, Aquarius and Gemini, it makes sense, It's him and I, Aquemini. So yeah, Outkast. 2 sick titles there at their album 2 and 3. Yeah, I love those titles.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, man. I think the whole concept of 80 Aliens as well is brilliant. Just even when you listen to the album, it doesn't sound like anything else that was out at the time. Nothing. And the fact that it sounded like they were flipping aliens who had come to Earth, and it's like, this is our sound. Like, no one else could copy our sound. I think it was a really good idea, and I think that was when he started wearing the turbans and started dressing crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so yeah, I think and Aquemini hit the nail on the head. I think that was just a smart album title because you had both sides of them on there as well. So
yeah. Shout out to Outkast, man. Yeah, creative. That was good.
Potter.
So I'm going with DMX. It's dark and hell is hot.
I thought well, yeah.
Well, I just like. I mean, it's similar to Little Brother, really. This was a game changer for me as well. Like, I think hip hop was very shiny at that point in time. It was happy. It was commercially in a good place, but like I feel that there was a lot of us that wanted a little bit more from that. And I'd heard some bits of his on like Mike Geronimo tracks and stuff like that, but I never really took notice. But
same.
The title of the album, like, is dark and hell is hot, I just thought it was a gamble, a big risk, like, because if you look at everything else that was coming out of Def Jam at that time, DMX was not anything like any of the others, and I think we needed a little bit. He was what real hip hop fans needed in '98. We needed somebody to remind us that there was a really grimy underbelly of the culture, and he showed you what his version of hell would be like. I mean, even you got when he's that song Damien, where he's having a conversation with his inner demon. Like, I just thought it was really clever. I thought it was really appropriate at the time. Having read his autobiography, knowing that he is very mentally ill, it made a lot of sense. But it was perfect. It fit the album perfectly. The title, it fit the content. Yeah. R.I.P. to DMX. Man. Lost we all feel, I think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think the theme here is the best album titles encapsulate what the album's about. It's not just you made an album and then you're like, just call it whatever. Like you already know the title, so you make an album that fits what that title is.
Yeah.
Or you've made the album already and you pick a title that encapsulates everything you've made. I think it gives you a goal for. Like if you name the album "It's Dark and Hell Is Hot," but you've got party tunes all over it, then something's wrong. You know what I mean? But if you've named it that and the theme of your songs kind of all go that way, I think the best hip hop albums, the titles kind of encapsulate what.
Yeah, I mean, and especially with that one, because even the like the more commercial aspects of it, like a Rough Riders anthem, that's heavy. That isn't a. That, I mean, no. Stuff, but that's not a club tune.
And then it killed every club, which is crazy.
Yeah. Like, how's it going down? I mean,
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
What you'd say is like a song for the ladies, but like
but this is what I was saying earlier. It's exactly the same as what I was saying. Like he's made a song for the ladies, air quote, but it's not some R&B hook nonsense in there. It's a hard tune, and people and girls around that time, they love that shit.
Yeah.
So if you make the music and it's good, people will come to you, man. You ain't got to keep doing all these radio reaches and all this stuff. Like, you know what I mean? You can actually have music that you make yourself. Yeah.
What the album was meant to be about.
Yeah. Because I never questioned DMX's authenticity, not once. Not once. Like, this guy's acted or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know the thing as well about that, you're right about the theme, and also when you think about it, if you're going to buy a book, you read that little synopsis or a little thing. Like the name of an album is like, it should make you say, "Oh, like what's that?" You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it's dark and hell is hot. It was just like, it's just mad. I just think it's such a sick title, and that's why for me,
I think it kind of says it's dark. It means it's dark where he is now, and where he's going, and where he's going is down.
That's even worse.
Tells me. And it
man,
perfectly. Like Potter said, he's literally talking to the devil. So he's saying it's dark, but like my life is dark on earth right now, and hell is hot. Like this is where I'm headed.
Yeah, and I'm going. For me, top 10 for me, and I'm stressing for me. I put that in my top 10 favorite hip hop albums of all time. I just love it, man. Like it took over my life when it dropped.
It took over.
It took over. Yeah, man. And just that you guys are talking about Damien tracking that, but just for me, I've said it so many times, but the balance, man, like to have Damien on there and then to have the convo, like if we're keeping it real, I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, when I was speaking about the whole what Nori was saying about Christian and dying across like a Christian and all that. I had Christian upbringing, innit, church upbringing and stuff like that. So when I heard DMX, like I've heard a lot of gospel hip hop as well, right? And a lot of it is sick, I ain't gonna lie, but some is really, really corny, man. But when you hear someone like DMX that's taught, like it's got the convo and got Damien on there, like what you're seeing is what a lot of people go through, but they only present one side of themselves to people because they don't know how the other side will be, you know what I mean, received.
Yeah.
When I heard that album, man, I was like, no, the balance in this album, and like I've said, that's why I love Tupac so much. People say that, you're contradictory. Nah, you're balanced and you're human. Like we all go through.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
I think that the whole album, it really encapsulates like what's going on in DMX's head. Like most of the time.
Right.
you know, all of us have got conflicting things inside of us. Like, you know, you want to be a good person, sometimes you can't be. Like, but I think he genuine, and it didn't change until, you know, he passed away. He was in conflict with himself.
Always. Yeah.
And he's opened, like, his debut album, he opens that box and shows you, like, this is what I'm at. This is where I'm at mentally and emotionally. Take it or leave it. And it resonated with people because you don't normally 100%. Get that kind of.
But why do you think it resonated though? This is what I'm saying. It resonated because people believed him. Like no one I know has ever questioned a DMX. Do you know what I mean? Like we question every rapper now because it's all bullshit. But I think DMX is one of them. You're like, nah, I don't need to ever question this dude. Like I know what he's about.
Yeah. Even that time he got nicked for impersonating a Fed. You were like, well, if you called that on the right person, you'd be convinced. Yeah,
right, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, nah, it's real talk, man. Yeah, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, 100%. He's sorely missed, man. We never really got the real DMX after maybe his third album. I don't like there was.
Man, too many demons.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm gonna go for Public Enemy for mine. For my next one. Same as you, E. I couldn't really pick between two, so I'm gonna go for Fear of a Black Planet, and I'm gonna go for It Takes a Nation of Millions. I think both of those album titles were crazy. Like Fear of a Black Planet, I think is fucking just brilliant because that is so true. Like, let's keep it like tall because if you think about it, Africa, biggest continent on earth, whatever, has been pillaged for centuries.
Apologize
for multiple reasons. Nah, apology to that. For multiple reasons over the years, and I think just their content, it led into exactly what those albums were about.
Man.
Their messaging, like we don't get that no more. Like if you actually sit down and think, who is coming up with these kind of concepts now in 2024? Nobody. And if anything, like the struggle has not changed. Like we can say we can go back to 87, we can go back to 86. Like I'm a child, like digesting this stuff. And that lent a lot to who I was growing up. We don't have that now. We don't have anybody talking to the youth like Public Enemy was talking to us. And those album titles.
You're right, man. You're right.
I don't even think like the album title means as much as it used to. I think like back then, an album title really meant something. Like I could listen to an album today, and I don't know what the fuck the album's called. Or like sometimes I'll be watching a movie, and I'm watching it because I've read the blurb about what the movie's about.
Right. Exactly.
So my girl will be like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm watching a film. She'll be like, oh, what's it called? I'll be like, I don't know. Like I genuinely don't know what it's called because I've just read the blurb. It sounds good. I've clicked play. But if the movie is like a blockbuster, and like you know what the title is, then if she's like, what are you watching? I'll be like, Gladiator 2 or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the music and movies now, it's just like you've made some stuff, you throw a title on it. I think that's why we get so many sequels and you know what I mean? I just don't think that originality anymore. You know what I mean? Putting that kind of shit together. So
you forget, like you're going back to those times, like especially when Fear of a Black Planet came out, like the establishment were like scared of certain album titles. I remember Fear of a Black Planet caused a stir because people
as it was intended to do.
Yeah. But they're like, well, what does this mean? Are they trying to like incite like a race?
What's happening right now today? What's happening on our doorsteps today? We've got the same thing. They try, but now it's not black people, it's Muslims that they're trying to give. So literally, we're in an era now where it's fear of a Muslim planet. They try to make it seem like Iran and all these Muslim countries who try to take us over. They ain't thinking about us at all. Like they're living their lives tax free. We're the ones who's paying tax over here and madness. So it still resonates today. It's just the target is shifted a little bit. But how 30 years, however many years we're talking, still resonates today. That's why the greatest album titles, there's never like a time limit on how great they are. So
no. It's like a movement in itself, isn't it? It's like it's a statement more than just a title. It's like a statement.
And
Do you know what I mean?
And you know what it's about before you hit the play on the first song. You know what that shit is about. Fear of a Black Planet. It takes a nation of millions. You already know what this album's going to be coming with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, man, big for me, especially.
Yeah, good shouts, man. 100. All right, my turn for worst. Once again, I'm going to throw out a double. Both of them are from Keith Murray. I really am, bro. I really am, man.
Oh yeah,
you don't have a lot of time, and there's a lot out there, isn't it? Two from Keith Murray. I'm throwing out.
Rapmophobia, one of them.
Rapmophobia has to
100%.
That was terrible.
What is that? And then to bracket it, what is it? The fear of real hip hop or something? The fear of the fear of hip hop or something. I'm just like, bro, like you're trying too hard, man. You're trying too hard. Do you know what I mean? Rapmophobia, terrible, man. And believe it or not, the debut, the most beautiful thing in the world. Like, I just think that's a shit title. Like, what is it? Like, it's like, what is? Like, I don't know.
That's not a rap album title. Certainly not one you would expect from somebody like Keith Murray.
This is what I mean. I've never liked the title. The song, love it. Five Micah, the song, I love the song to this day. But yeah, the title, it's just, imagine, oh yeah, can I have the most beautifulest thing in the world, please? It's just love. Do you know what I mean? It's just love.
Because the album's grindy as shit.
Yeah,
so
and beautifulest. Yeah, and
so
beautifulest. It's the most beautiful thing in the world, right? The most beautifulest. It's just annoying, man. I hate that. It is, man.
He can write bars, but
undeniably,
like, he can't do anything else with regards to albums or music.
I don't know, man. I love Enigma. I thought Enigma was dope. I thought that was a good mixture of Eric Sermon and Keith Murray together. I think Enigma was his best album technically.
Enigma's a brilliant album.
But when he moved to Def Jam and he did, what was that album? He's Keith Murray, was it?
Yeah,
Keith Murray. He's Keith Murray.
That was so fucking annoying.
Actually, he done
did 2 albums on Def Jam, didn't he?
He done and he flipped the title, The Beautifulest Thing or something.
Yeah, he did the most. So the debut was The Most Beautifulest. Then he did Enigma, and then the third was
The Beautiful Thing or something like that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
One with he did that tune with R. Kelly. That was on it, wasn't it? Like
House Party or something like that.
Yeah.
And the one with LL Cool J as well. Is it not Phenomenon?
Incredible.
That's LL.
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah. It wasn't a bad album. It actually weren't a bad album.
That was a good
tune, the song on the album that kills your speakers. Some shit. That song is crazy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's what I mean.
And Cannabis was on that song.
Yeah. Hard. Definitely. Yeah.
I've got time for Keith Murray, man. Well, let me say this again. I've got time for 90s Keith Murray. I don't know what happened
exactly.
after the turn of the century. The same with Redman, let's be real. I'm not sure what happened to him at the turn of the century. Def Squad in the 90s, untouchable as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely top tier hip hop, beats, rhymes, everything, attitude, everything. And then as soon as we got to the 2000s, I think they just didn't believe in their sound anymore. I think they were just, I don't know if it was the label telling them, you've got to change your sound, and they weren't comfortable. Because when I listen to He's Keith Murray and he's got songs like Candy Bar and shit, I'm like, bro, this doesn't fit you at all. And Eric Sermon did that Indian song, I can't remember what it's called. I don't know. I don't even.
I know what you mean.
You know it.
Yeah. I think that was a Just Please beat at the time, and I just think they just lost their way around there. Just like,
no, you're right.
They didn't know what direction to go in, and they thought, we've done that 90s sound. Let's try and switch it up a bit. And it just didn't work for them. But not for me. Didn't work for me with that sound.
No, you're right. I mean, I went back to Red Gone Wild a couple months ago, and it's a lot better than I remember it being.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to that, man. Anything after Malpractice gets a bad rap. Malpractice is a good album. I don't care.
Yeah, that's all right.
Right. So that's what I thought. So I thought Malpractice. Yeah, exactly. So I thought Malpractice was like Redman's last decent album. That was just for me in my mind. And then, like I said, a couple of months ago, I played Red Gone Wild again. Actually, I was going through his whole catalogue again, just revisiting. I do that with an artist every now and then. And I'm like, bro, Red Gone Wild, I actually think might be even better than Malpractice. If you ain't heard it for a while, go back to it. I think
I'll
it's
go back to that, man.
yeah, it feels like
back
vintage.
was I never because I was such a big fan. When he dropped Doc's the Name, initially I was disappointed in the album. I was like, meh.
I love
it wasn't hitting as hard as the first three. But when I went back,
it's bloated, man. It's bloated.
Later, I was like, shit, like this. He was rapping on the album. He was going crazy.
You know what? I struggle with it. Like, it's a good album. I ain't gonna lie. I've heard people say it's a classic. I wouldn't necessarily argue, but I don't know. I feel like it's bloated. Like I just said, I went back over his catalog recently, and it feels a bit. I don't know. It didn't. I'm the opposite to you.
Just rapping,
yeah. Definitely.
Raps, I think he on Muddy Waters and Doc's the Name. I think his rapping was like up here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there was too much. I don't know. He did a lot of remade beats. Like he took an Ice Cube beat and like he's done a couple of them. But yeah, I'd agree with you, man. After Malpractice, I kind of lost interest a bit, but I'll revisit it because I ain't listened to that in a very long time. So
same. Before I played it that time, I hadn't listened to it in years. And I thought, I was just been going through, and I thought, oh, this is actually better than because let's be honest. Anyway, that's another episode. Carry on. That's another episode. But who was that?
Both of those shouts are fair, bro. I'll go along with both of those.
Yeah, definitely. Who's next? Yeah.
Who is next?
You.
Potter, you. Okay. I said
this is a trash one.
Yeah, trash one. All right. So, I mean, I've not even heard this album, but like the album title was so pretentious, like I don't need to. So, PM Dawn, Bliss, Vibrations of Love and Anger, and the Ponderance of Existence.
I've
never listened to
that album.
Yeah, no way.
Nah.
I'm never
listening to that. I'm not. How am I gonna remember that shit?
Yeah.
I've got one like that. Them long titles are annoying, man. Don't do that, man.
I just don't feel like I know what PM Dawn's vibe was. Yeah, and I've heard a couple of his joints, like, but it's not for me. But like, I don't feel like you need to have an album title that pretentious so that it sounds like you're writing an essay. That sort of shit.
It's long.
Sounds like
trying
an
to be
album
popular.
That was
I don't know. Yeah,
no, I totally agree with you. I'm gonna drop a bomb on both of you though. I ain't gonna lie. I actually liked Set Adrift of Every Bliss. I thought that was
I love that too.
That's a sick tune, bro. What are you talking about? I love that
song, man. I like that shit.
And the song they had on the Boomerang soundtrack as well. Hard. Well, not hard.
Yes.
I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what it's called, but I can remember the scene where they're playing the song, and I was like, oh, is that PM Dawn?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, they're the only two PM Dawn songs I know. I've never listened to the album.
I know, for real. But if
I know, but I like them both.
I always thought that beat was hard, like that sample. I always thought that was crazy.
Yeah, 100%. I'm a fan of that song, no doubt about
that. It's weird for me because from what I remember, like obviously his whole thing is like peace and love, and
he was a hippie, isn't it? Basically,
But then I'm sure I remember seeing something that he's just a dick in real life. He is not nice. Like that's. I'm sure I remember seeing an article about it. He was like chucking people off stage and just cussing people out all over the place.
KRS-One done that to him. Yeah, Big KRS-One done that to him.
He got thrown off stage because he was trash.
Yeah, no what?
Yeah,
no, I know that story, but like I'm sure I've read something about him being to people just a complete.
I've never heard that. If I'm honest, bro, never heard that at all.
I could be wrong. But like, if you're gonna call an album that, and
it's got to be fire, like, there's no way around it. It has to be.
And I'm sure his other album after that one was something stupid about apologizing to his son for some shit. I'm just like, you're obviously a dick if you're calling your albums that, like just writing a dissertation for an album title. I ain't got nothing
I'm
Just
not
say
gonna get it. Simple
I
as
don't want
that.
to hear. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
Oh, that's funny.
My next terrible one is going to be Riders of the Storm, the Underwater album by the Boogie Monsters.
I was gonna say I don't even know it, bro. Riders of the
know.
Storm.
Riders of the
I don't know.
Storm, the Underwater album. I didn't ever understand what that concept was. And don't
So
get me
you're
wrong,
riding a storm
and the album's
underwater.
called Underwater. Yeah, it just never made sense to me. And I love the first two songs of the album. Recognize Thresholds of Negative Stress, which is a ridiculous name for a song, but the song was hard as hell. And then Strange. You guys must remember them songs, man.
Oh yeah, I remember Strange. Yeah, I remember Strange. Yeah. I haven't heard the whole album. I remember Strange though.
The whole album wasn't the best. It wasn't bad, but they got bad on. I think their second album got 2 mics in the source. It was called Godson. Yeah, it wasn't well received, and they had Honey Dips and Gotham, and I think they tried to put the remix on that. But yeah, just a weird title for a rap album. I just don't think it fit. Because the songs were actually hard, like those 2 songs, the lead singles. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend an album, but Recognize Thresholds and Strange, highly recommend those 2 songs.
All right, cool. For time's sake, I'm gonna throw out. Say that again.
What you got for the next good one?
Yeah, I'll throw out 2 only for time's sake. You can do the same if you want. I'm gonna go with Joey Badass. It might be cheating a little bit because it's not really what the album's called, but it's the way he's done it. So Joey Before the Money, the way he's written it was like Joey before the dollar signs. So when you look at it, it looks like it's saying Joey Badass. I thought that was so cool.
I thought that was clever.
Yeah, so same, bro. I thought that was so creative, man. So yeah, sick. And yeah, I mean the title isn't amazing, Before the Money, but just how it was done. I think it's brilliant.
So when I first saw that stood out to me. I was like, okay, that's clever.
Exactly. Yeah, just the way it spells out his name. Sick. Yeah. Good album too. So yeah.
Clock that, to be honest, I've got that album. I didn't clock that at all. So.
Yeah. Oh really?
Yeah. The SS was $2. So
yeah.
That was good.
So and then so then the B Joey and then the 4D looks like it says bad, and then the A dollar sign. So it's like it says Joey Badass, but it's Joey Before the Money. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I thought that was a sick title. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go with shout out represent the UK, Skinny Man, Council of State of Mind.
Council of State of Mind.
Was it? Yeah.
That was a hard album title. I ain't gonna lie. That was really
and most people know how I feel about that album anyway. I think it's phenomenal, a classic. I don't care. No one says, man. It was sick when it dropped, and even the other day I was listening to it. It literally stayed in my car for like a week. I was just it was just spinning again in my car. Phenomenal album, man. It's just a shame like he don't even get a penny from it, but incredible album.
And
that's crazy, man.
Both of you might have met Skinny before, right?
Nah, no, I've been in places where he is, but I've never had a conversation with him.
Skinny is the nicest dude. Like where he used to live, my kid's mum used to live there. So we were teenagers.
Okay.
14, 15. And I used to bump into him a lot. He always used to ask me, what are you listening to? So I always used to have like my headphones on. So he'd always just ask random people, like, what are you listening to? So my thing, I was always listening to Cal around those times. And I was like, to Cal again. And he's like, oh yeah, all right, I see you. He's the nicest dude. And just to know that like he ain't getting a penny off that album.
Yeah, great touch.
Everyone over here will recognize that as a classic. But
now I've even been in a studio when he's in there. Like I've been in places where he's been, but I've never had a conversation with him. But I've heard he's cool, man. Cool. Council of State of Mind, sick title, sick album. It's a shame for this generation it's not on streaming, so you're gonna have to try and find it on YouTube or something. But for those of us that have physical copies, man, it's it's like gold dust. You know what I mean?
I
Incredible
thought that day
album.
release, man. I was so hyped when that came out.
Love it, man.
Not
Love
a
it,
time
love it.
for that album, man, for real. Yeah, good shout.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
What about,
what you got?
Yeah.
Okay,
Potter,
so I mean, it wouldn't be a show if I didn't mention Ice Cube at least once. So we've got America's Most Wanted. Like,
Yeah,
I thought,
yeah, he said that. I heard that.
such a good album title, man. And I love the way that he was just, I'm going to put the KKK straight on the front of the album cover. I don't care what you say. First album, obviously after the split, and I feel like at that time, most of us were really wanting to see what he would do on a solo album. So he kind of was America's Most Wanted at the time.
Yeah.
And it was like, and the complete removal from what he was meant to be doing with like the producers from the West Coast. He's like, went over to New York, got the Bomb Squad on board, and you could just kind of tell from like the album title, the artwork, everything. He was just like, I'm here now. Like, this is now you're going to really see what Ice Cube is about. And I just thought it was a really apt title for his debut album, I think. And it just it encapsulated like where America was at the time. Like, it was bubbling up in LA before a year or so before the riots. It was just dope, man. I thought it was really. I mean, obviously, I was only like 11 or whatever when that came out. I thought it was really clever how he'd done that with America's Most Wanted. Even we'd heard of that over here as a TV program. And then just blatantly putting the KKK on the front. I was like, this dude is dope. I love Ice Cube.
It's true, man. It's true.
Yeah, I got to agree with that.
That put balls, man.
You got any others?
Well, honourable mention, I think Sky Zoo and Pete Rock, Retropolitan. I thought that was
good. I like that
clever,
one.
man. Because it's a Metropolitan album because it's like kind of current and groovy, but there's a massive retro feel to it. And it's an album full of heads. So
totally
that was a good one.
Yeah, cool. Good shout.
All right, man. I got a few, but I'll run through them quick, and then are we still doing worse ones too? We still got enough worse ones to go, or is that?
Yeah, do this good one, then we'll go around one more time for worst.
All right, cool. All right, so I'll quickly throw these out. I'll say 93 to Infinity because how on earth are you gonna know in 93 that this song is or this album is gonna be like? We'll still listen to that like it just came out. Like the album was just perfectly titled. I think the song was perfectly titled. So yeah, big up to Souls of Mischief and
that song is never gonna.
It will never die. It will never be old. It will never die. That's it. End of story.
It's ultimate feel good, man.
Whatever mood you're in, you hear that song. I'm sorry, but you're gonna feel it
afterwards.
And that's the type of hip hop I like, where you feel.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I think Legal Drug Money was dope as well by Lost Boys.
Yeah, good shout.
Legal Drug Money, I thought was a really dope title. I think they do get props for that album, actually, to be honest. And I still don't know what Pretty Lou does. I don't even know what
Big Nice. Big Nice.
Yeah, Big Nice. I don't know what Big Nice did. But
one of them's the DJ. I know that much. One of them's the DJ.
So you had the Hype Man, Freaky Tar. You had Mr. Cheeks. I don't know what. I think Spig might have been a DJ actually.
Yeah, I think one of them's a DJ, and I think one of them, the other one, was quite instrumental in getting them together. Like it was more like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair.
But you're right. It's only really cheap and
really. And then Tar here. I like that album title because it's kind of telling you we're making music to make legal money. You know what I mean? I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
I really like the Coop. The Coop have great album titles, and Steal This Album. I thought that's a brilliant album title.
Yeah.
They also had Kill My Landlord. Like they've got really dope album titles, man. I really like their stuff.
Yeah.
Well, off Peter Coop, man. They're wicked.
I think they're brilliant, man. Bootsy Collins is sick. He's so dope. But I don't think
he's Dan's dad, isn't it?
Yeah. But I never hear people talking about them ever. And they're so good. So I don't know. That's those are my last picks for those titles, man.
All right, sick. Those are for the good ones, innit? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just throw these out. What I had left for good was 1903. I thought that's a sick title, sick
That's
play
a
on
sick
their
title.
name and everything like that. 1903, yeah.
One of the first albums I
War,
bought, hard copy.
definitely.
album.
See, I had War Report as well. CNN just for the whole Capone Noriega shortened to CNN News Channel War Report. I just all worked well. But right, so I'm going to throw out a couple worst ones for my last ones, and they're both going to be for reasons that you both touched on before. Just them long ass titles I can't deal with. One of them was Tribe Called Quest, man, the debut.
Yeah,
People's
I
don't even know.
Travels and the Paths of Rhythm. Is that right?
Yeah. Just them stupid long titles that you're never gonna say, or I just hate them. They're stupid, and you feel like they're trying to be clever with it. Not even clever, but just different. I just don't like it, man. And shout out to Public Enemy, Gods of Hip Hop, man, undeniably. But How to Sell Your Soul to 1 minute. I had to write it down. How to sell your soul to soulless people who sold their soul. Like, it's just too much, man. What is that, like 08, 07 or something like that? How to sell your soul.
Why would I sell my soul to a soulless person?
Yeah, how to sell your soul to soulless people who sold their soul. But yeah, I just don't like it, man. It's just too much, man.
I don't like it because it literally doesn't.
Yeah, and they had that music in our message as well. I wasn't sure if I liked that or didn't like it, but I thought it was clever how they done it. But yeah, sometimes their titles can be a bit, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's all. What did I have? Oh yeah, and Redman. What, the album? As much as I love the album,
what the album? I love
I don't know. For me, it just feels like what the album.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I've heard him on EP50 shit, but he's doing an album. Like, I love that. That's great for a debut.
Man, for me, I just felt like, you know what? For years, you just say what the album, what. But when you actually slow it down and break it down, you're like, what? The album? I don't know. I just thought it was silly, man. But yeah.
Look at the artwork, like, it's got a massive exclamation mark and a thing. So it's like, what?
Exactly.
I love
and
that.
It's upside down, isn't it? It's just weird. It's weird. But yeah, that's my picks for today, man. So, Potter, what you got for worst for your last one?
So I got Cameron, Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment. There is none of any of that in that album. And it's not entertaining in the slightest. So
I hate that album. I don't know why people like the album. I don't get it to this day. I don't get it. But it's not for me.
You know what? Cam's cold, man. Cam's cold. Let's just say it.
No, he's not.
Cam, you like it or you don't. There's no middle ground. And I understand it. I understand it.
No interest at all. I don't get it.
1 minute. Sorry, bro. Let me cut you 1 second. Just randomly, I got a question for Slack. Random question. Who do you prefer, AZ or Cameron?
AZ.
Okay. I was just curious because I know you can't stand either of them.
It's not that I can't stand AZ. I just don't think he's this guy that people try to make him out to be. Like, he's not.
Really?
He's like Nas Light, man.
Yeah, the albums, bro. Like, if you go through his discography, it's not good.
Not that good.
It's okay at best.
People rave about Pieces of a Man. That is not.
It's not a good album, bro.
I was disappointed at first when I heard that because I love Do or Die in it. So when I heard Pieces of a Man in '98, I remember buying it as soon as it dropped. CD bar.
I saw RZA production. I was like, yes, maybe he's back. And then I played it and I was like, nah.
I was disappointed. It's grown on me more now. But as you know, I'm a huge AZ fan.
No diss to AZ, man. I don't want to disrespect him in any way, but it just doesn't. His rapping does nothing for me. He sounds like he's doing a bad imitation of Cool G rap to me. Like, it's not. Nah, I'm not feeling it, bro. I'm sorry.
I went for a stage where I thought Pun, AZ, Cool G rap, and was it Big L? I can't remember. But I went for a stage thinking they may have like some of the all-time greatest flows in hip hop. Like, I think AZ's flow
all came from Cool G, bro.
Undeniable.
AZ didn't make it his own. AZ always, to me, sounded like Cool G with a terrible voice. Like, Cool G's style fit his flow perfectly. AZ, your voice is it just didn't hit for me. I'm sorry, I can't do it. So, but out of the two, I would not throw on a Cameron album in my, you know what I mean, while I'm chilling at home. Like his music does nothing for me.
Wow.
Like AZ,
That's funny.
I could throw on the first half of Do or Die. That's nice. And there's a few songs like he's got The Format, he's got I'm Back, he's got a couple of songs that I like, but I like them mainly because of the beats, not because of him. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, but I just randomly, because we mentioned AZ, I just thought it'd be interesting to see.
Last bad one. I've got to be real careful here. Real careful. Gravediggers album that is now called 6 Feet Deep.
Yes.
The original title that rhymed with rigor mortis.
I'm
so glad you remember that. I ain't gonna lie. I thought the original title was dope. I loved it. And then when
I can't go into a shop and ask for that album.
Why did you change it like that? Edward Mortis was a great title for an album.
See, that's label pressure, isn't it? That's label pressure. That's the same thing said about
I'll go in HMV and ask for that shit.
I was so pissed off with it.
Can I have Mortis, please? Sorry, what? Mortis.
I remember seeing it in the shop.
How are you spelling that?
I was like, is that the same album or is that a new one? It's the same cover.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. But yeah, I bought it when it was Nigga Mortis. I literally bought that album. And I remember on the back. You
still got the copy where it's called that?
It was called that, yeah. And on the back, it had a foot with a toe tag on it in white.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know many people that talk about that.
That might be worth some wedge.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Because
and it wasn't me that bought it. It was my dad actually who had the album, and I was very surprised because actually I'm not, because he likes all kinds of shit. But the fact that he had that album, I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, because I was very disappointed when I saw that it was changed to 6 Feet Deep.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
that's a good shout.
Great shout. You've got that in the wrong category. That should be in the other category, 100%. I love it. Is that you, Potter? Are you done?
Yeah, that's me, yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna say E Feel for Zagging by NWA was
bro. Come on, man. Yeah. I agree.
I can't ask for it in the shop.
That was so rubbish, basically. And I think that's probably it. I've got a few more that was really good, but we've already done those. But yeah, that one always annoyed me. I liked actually the Bratz album titles. I thought Another Tantrum, was a good title for an album.
Yeah. Another Tantrum, yeah, that works actually.
Good. And I thought Funkified was good because that album was fun to tell when it came out. Yeah. Just to add on to those. So yeah, those are my picks. Man. I'm sure there's many more. But we be here for
yeah, exactly. But yeah, album titles are important, man. Like you said, nowadays it's just like they're not even thought about now. It's just not even, and that's the thing that makes the music not last, in my opinion, because you don't even remember titles, or they just don't have any lasting. They're not statements. They're just literally titles. Do you know what I mean? It's just literally.
And I think the ones that do stick, they're regarded now. So you got things like, let's say, I know E, you won't be down with this one, but Fly God, for instance, by Westside, that album right there, and then he's carried that theme on throughout his Fly God is an awesome God, and all that kind of shit. But that album there kind of set the tone for everything that Griselda did for the next 10 years.
That's it. That's what I mean. Yeah, it's a theme. It's something that lives long.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, like the businesses with EP50.
Exactly. Or even Benny, Plugs I Met, and he's going to do a Plugs I Met too. He spoke about doing Plugs I Met on the Tanner Talk album, stuff like that, man. I've got a lot. You can tell that some thought really went into that kind of stuff. Yeah, man. So we're wrapping up for another week. Yeah, we definitely could have had so many more on this one, man. But there's only so much time. So yeah, feel free to, as always, drop below anything that we might have missed. There's always some great suggestions by some of our most loyal watchers and supporters. So always big up to you. And we'll be back next week with another episode. we're also coming towards the end of the year, so I'm sure that there's going to be a wrap up at some point. So maybe we can get a bit of engagement in that before we drop the episode. I think that would be a good idea. So yeah, we can maybe catch up on the timeline and see how we go with that. But as always, man, thank you for checking us out. We'll be back next week. So from me, your boy Slack in the building as always, and my two co-hosts extraordinaires, sign us out, man.
Yes, E Major. Thank you for tuning in again. My Type of Hype podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. So we'll see you next week. Potter, do your thing, bro.
Appreciate you tuning in again. Yeah, so just as Slack and me say, just tap in on the timeline and get with us. See if you can add to what we're doing. So appreciate that and peace out.
Yeah, man. Until next week. Peace.